Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be going over a story that I've been interested in for a very long time. Pied Piper. The story that we've been told for a long time might not actually be what actually happened. So, first off, the story is originally called The Pied Piper of Hamelin or Hamelin. It's also been referred to as the Pan Piper or Rat Catcher of Hamelin. So, the town of Hamelin had a rat problem in 1284. The Pied Piper appears and he basically sells his services to the town as a rat catcher. The mayor offers him 1,000 guilders, which would be 550 US dollars today, and at that time it would have been around 500,000 US dollars, so $500,000 to get rid of rats. Piper agrees. He does his job, gets all the rats out of the town, lures them to a river called the Weser River, where they drown. After he did his end of the bargain, the mayor did not pay him what he was owed. So instead of giving him the 1,000, he gave him 50. That's 5% of what he was promised. Wow, I would have been mad. The mayor even suggested that the piper had tried to con him, saying that he might have been responsible for the rat infestation from the get-go. So upon leaving, the piper vowed to get his revenge. Nowadays, you would get sued for that. So on St. John's and Paul's Day, or June 26th, the adults were all in church. On this day, the piper returned, dressed in green like a hunter. Upon playing his magical tune, 130 children followed the piper into a cave and disappeared forever. Scary. Some versions of the story tell of 3 kids who were left behind. So, one of the kids was lame and he couldn't keep up with the others. The second one was deaf, and therefore he couldn't hear the tune that was being played. And the third was blind and couldn't see where to go. These 3 children told the adults what happened when church was over. Other versions say that the piper led the kids to Kopelberg Hill, or a place called Koppenberg Mountain. When I looked it up, the distance between Koppenberg and Hamelin is 495 kilometers, almost 500 kilometers. And if you're walking that, it's going to take you 4 days. So that's a lot of walking. There are other versions still that the piper led them to Weser River, where they drowned, similar to the way he got rid of the rats. And another version says the piper returned the kids after receiving a ransom, and the ransom would have been several times his original payment. So that's pretty much the story that we're all used to. So just to clarify some of the facts in this story, the story is technically an urban legend from Hamelin, Lower Saxony, Germany. However, I'm going to get into that a little bit later. The term pied refers to the bright, multicolored clothing the piper wore. This story appears in many retellings, including one done by the Brothers Grimm. Nowadays, the term Pied Piper refers to someone who attracts others using their charisma or through promises, usually false promises. The earliest record of the story comes from a stained glass window in the church of Hamelin in the 1300s. This window was historically referenced in the 14th and 17th centuries and was destroyed in 1660. So there's like no question, no doubt that a stained glass window actually existed and it depicted this story. So that is a fact. The image showed a colorfully dressed piper and several children dressed in white, which is pretty synonymous with Christianity and Catholic culture. Usually white is a symbol of purity, so it makes sense why the stained glass window would show the children dressed in white. The window was considered to be a historical retelling of an event that happened in the town. It's not considered just something they put up because it looked nice, or just a little legend or folklore or a bedtime story or fairy tale. No, that stained glass window was an actual retelling of an event. So the first record ever written down, ever documented about the history of the town, the very first one says, "It is 100 years since our children left." No explanation has been scientifically or historically accepted to this day to account for this entry. It is important to note that the rats weren't added to the story until a 1559 retelling of the account. So the story that we've been told, that the Pied Piper was a rat catcher, isn't even like the first account. That's just something that somebody added to it later on. It might not actually be true. Another interesting fact, there's a street named Bungalow Sinstrasse, or if you're going to translate it, it means the street without drums. This street is believed to be the last place the kids were seen. Even to this day, there is no singing or dancing allowed on this street. Alright, so that's basically the original story, some facts that weren't in the story, and some that relate to it, right? So there have been so many different retellings and accounts of what actually happened in the town of